Okay, let's jump right in. We're going to be talking about a book that's really become a modern spiritual classic, and it has one of the most unique origin stories you'll ever hear. It's called A Course in Miracles, and today we're going to break down its essential curriculum, starting right from the beginning.
So, what makes its origins so wild? Well, this isn't a book that someone planned out or researched like you'd normally expect. It's this incredibly comprehensive spiritual curriculum that was kind of out of nowhere received and transcribed by, of all people, a professor of medical psychology at Columbia University. And get this, the woman who wrote these notes down, Dr. Helen Schucman, she was an atheistic, highly skeptical psychologist. I mean, not exactly the person you'd expect for this. She heard this inner voice that just dictated the whole thing to her. A process she fought against at first, which, just makes the book's existence and its really profound message all the more fascinating. Which, of course, brings us to the main question for this explainer. If you've got this huge book from such an unbelievable source, what is its essential curriculum? What is it actually trying to teach us?
So we know the book started as this inner dictation, but to really get what its curriculum is all about, we have to first understand the core problem that it says it solves.
And that problem, the root of literally all our suffering according to the Course, it all starts with something it calls the tiny mad idea. Okay, so here's the central idea. All human suffering, and I mean every single bit of it, comes from this one single mistake. The belief that we could actually separate ourselves from our source, from a completely loving creator. This belief, it says, is what created the ego, our feeling of being a separate individual self. And with that came this whole dream world based on guilt, fear, and nonstop conflict. It's saying every problem we have traces right back to this one idea. So if that's the problem, what's the solution? Amazingly, the Course says its entire philosophy, the whole thing, can be found in just 3 short sentences. Yup, you heard that right. The entire thought system, everything it's trying to teach you across more than 1,000 pages, is all boiled down into these 3 lines. They're the foundation for everything else. Let's take a look at them one by one.
The first one is nothing real can be threatened. So what does it mean by real? It's talking about our spiritual reality, our true identity as part of our Creator. It's saying that what we really are, love, spirit, wholeness, that's unchangeable. It can't ever be harmed or lessened in any way, shape, or form. And the second sentence follows right from that. Nothing unreal exists. Now, this is the really radical part. It's talking about that whole ego world, the fear, the guilt, the separation, the conflict, and calling it unreal. It's basically saying that the world we see through the ego's eyes, it's an illusion. It's like a bad dream that has no actual substance. And finally, herein lies the peace of God. You see, this is the crucial point. Peace isn't something you have to earn or go out and find. It's something you just accept, right here and now, by understanding those first 2 principles. If only what is real and eternal is true, and the world of fear and attack is just a dream, well then there's absolutely nothing to be afraid of. That realization is the peace of God. Okay, so if that's the goal, how in the world do we get there? How do we undo this huge error in our minds? Well, the Course offers a primary tool for doing just that, and it calls this tool the miracle. Now, let's be clear. When the Course talks about a miracle, it's not talking about parting the Red Sea or turning water into wine. A miracle is an internal thing. It's a shift that happens in your own mind, a choice to see a person or a situation with love instead of with fear. It's the main tool for correcting all the ego's mistakes. And this is where the whole concept gets really, really interesting. The Course says that a miracle has a very special relationship with time. It doesn't just happen in time, it actually changes our entire experience of time. This is such a fantastic analogy to make this idea clear. A miracle saves time, kind of like how daylight saving time works, right? Daylight saving doesn't actually create more sunlight. It just rearranges our schedule so we can use the light we have better. Well, a miracle does the same thing for our minds. It rearranges our perceptions so radically that it can stand in for what might have taken thousands of years of learning to get over some grudge or fear. It literally collapses time. The book's very first chapter actually lays out some key principles about these miracles that help us understand them. First, there's no order of difficulty. Forgiving a small thing is exactly the same as forgiving a massive betrayal. They're just natural expressions of love. In fact, the text says that when they don't happen, something has gone wrong. Their whole job is to rearrange our perception so we can see the truth. And, really important here, a miracle is a service. It's a way of loving your neighbor that actually heals both you and them.
So, where does all this lead? Correcting that tiny mad idea with all these miracles, it's all building towards one ultimate goal, a state of mind the Course calls sane perception.
So, to get what sane perception means, we first have to see the difference the Course makes between perception and knowledge. So, perception, over on the left, that's what we experience here in this world. It's temporary, it changes all the time, and it's full of mistakes and doubt. Knowledge, on the other hand, is our natural state. It's timeless, it's certain, totally stable, and completely one with our Creator. The thing is, we can't get to knowledge from here, but we can build a bridge. And that bridge is sane or innocent perception. This is the goal of the whole curriculum. It's a state of mind where you just stop misperceiving things. You learn to look past the ego's mistakes, past all the attacks, and see the inherent blamelessness, that indestructible light in everybody, and that includes yourself. You see what's really there instead of what the ego just made up. And this brings us right back to that core idea. The whole reason we can even achieve sane perception is because, according to the Course, our true foundation can't be shaken. As this really powerful quote from Chapter 3 puts it, "Your creation by God is the only foundation which cannot be shaken, because the light is in it." That light, that's the reality that miracles help us remember. So this entire curriculum is designed to lead us back to this unshakable foundation, which leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. If this deep, unbreakable peace is our true reality, what is it in our own experience that keeps us from seeing it?